So in this video, I'm going to discuss how we all have masculine and feminine energies inside of us, right? And don't get hooked onto the words. You can call it anything. You can call it alpha and omega. You can call it this and that, right? So in the universe is just light. The universe just is. It's just everything. It's a soup of everything. It's the entire yin and yang in one package. And in order for us to experience this universe, which is just oneness, we need complementary opposites, right? We need to be able to experience hot and cold in order to experience life, good and bad, giving and receiving, right? So from the universe and light, our minds and our bodies and our nervous system separates this light into two complementary opposites, right? Everything in the universe gets split into two complementary opposite halves, which you can call masculine, feminine. Chinese medicine calls it the yin and the yang, alpha and omega. In Christianity, we say that. So everything can be comprised as masculine and feminine, right? And so your nervous system and your body and your mind separates the inseparable, separates light. Your soul is light, and your body and your mind and your nervous system separates this light into two complementary opposites of everything. And in order to experience life, we have to have that. And so these complementary opposites, which we can call masculine and feminine, they are entangled, right? Hot and cold are entangled. They're inseparable. And so anytime something gets hotter, it becomes less cold, right? And if something becomes colder, it becomes less hot. You can't affect and change cold without affecting the hot. Likewise, let's say another example is, the masculine energy is the giver. It penetrates, right? It gives. The feminine is receptive. She receives. A man can give and a man can receive. A woman can receive and a woman can give. So it's not tied to gender. We just call them masculine or feminine energies. However, have you ever given a gift to someone and you received so much pleasure? It was almost like for you. You gave them a gift, but I was like, oh, this feels so good to give them a gift. You gave and you also received at the same time. They're entangled, just like Einstein calls it, spooky action at a distance. You can't separate giving and receiving. It's like trying to get two sides of a coin and try to separate them. It's not possible. And you might have received a gift and you gave the person the gift of receiving their gift. And they were so happy that you received it. So you can't have one without the other. All feminine energies in the universe and all masculine energies in the universe are in relationship with one another. They are stuck together. They're inseparable. And when we realize that there's nothing better about the masculine, there's nothing better about the feminine, they're both necessary, they're both entangled, and they're both part of the same team, that's where the inner couple comes in. We realize that they are on the same team and they're necessary, and they're both necessary, right? What the masculine is the active energies, right? And the feminine is the passive energies in the form of feelings, your desires, things that inspire you, your fears, your love, right? Those are all feelings that need action. If you have an inspiration to write a song, you have to get into your masculine and take action and write the song, don't you, right? And what can the masculine do without the feminine? The masculine has no direction without the feminine, right? So that's why it's important for women and men to really get in touch with your feelings, because then you can go your whole life working towards something that's not your true desire, not your true passion, because you're not checking in with your inner feminine or your feelings, your emotions, your desires, your inspiration. You're just powering through and you're maybe afraid to feel those feelings. So you go your whole life in the wrong direction. Or if you're only in the feminine and maybe you were wounded by the masculine growing up, right? And maybe you disown the masculine, you're like, I hate the masculine, that's gonna show up internally. And that's why I like to help people own and take responsibility for what's happening internally, because whatever affected you is now affecting your life, right? And so let's say you are wounded against the masculine, you don't like the masculine, you were hurt by the masculine, maybe your father wasn't around, maybe your father was toxic or mean, then you will try to be only in your feminine, only in your feelings, only in your body, right? And you will have all these feelings, your desires, and your inspirations, but you won't take action on them because you disown some healthy masculine traits. Oftentimes we throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? If someone was maybe aggressive and violent growing up, then you will throw out aggressive and violent, but also the healthy version, which is assertiveness, setting boundaries, speaking up for yourself, taking action, going after what you want, takes a certain level of assertiveness. And sometimes we throw out the toxic traits, but we throw out the healthy traits as well. And so, as you can see, first we have the universe, which is just light. It was split into two complementary opposites in order for us to experience life. And then, depending on our wounding growing up, we sometimes disown either the masculine or the feminine. Sometimes men are afraid of their emotions, they're afraid of the feminine. Sometimes women are afraid of their emotions and they judge themselves and they criticize their emotions. Sometimes women are, they don't like men who are assertive and men who go after what they want and they feel maybe like their boundaries are not being respected. So the goal of the inner couple is to realize that they are on the same team. The feminine cannot exist without the masculine, and the masculine cannot exist without the feminine. And when you start to realize that this is happening right inside of you, you start to take a little more, responsibility for what's happening inside you because it's affecting your life. And then when you start to cultivate this relationship internally and heal the relationship between your inner couple, it shows up in your relationships. Imagine if you're a man who maybe smokes a lot or drinks to avoid your feelings and your emotions. Do you think you're going to understand your partner's emotions? You won't, because you don't understand your own. And oftentimes we have blind spots, right? So let's say you didn't have a father around, or your father wasn't showing up in the way he should have been as a father. Then you'll have certain blind spots in masculine traits. You might have some blind spots in your feminine traits. And so this wreaks havoc in our relationships. We won't even know where we're lacking. So it's really important to realize that all our triggers are pointing us to our blind spots and to the things that we maybe disown in the masculine or the feminine. So this is just scratching the surface of the inner couple, but as you can see, the importance of embracing both sides of yourself and realizing that you're equal masculine and feminine. I'm not saying you're a man or a woman. I'm not saying don't link it to gender. It's just energies. We all have, and once you find your this natural balance and dance between your energies, you are authentic and you no longer judge yourself and you could just be authentic. And then your essence actually shows through. Think about your masculine or feminine essence like this. Like think of cars, right? All cars have four tires, right? And if you look at them, they're basically the same thing. They have four tires, they have a body. If you cut them down the middle, they look the same on both on the left and the right side, don't they? But one car might be a race car. One car might be a luxury car. One car might be a Hummer. One might be a limo, right? So they are all balanced in their geometry, in their tires, right? But they have a different essence. So when you no longer judge the feminine or no longer judge the masculine, you just live authentically and you're balanced in your masculine and feminine energies, then you can be your authentic self and your natural essence will show through. And so if we are all balanced, does that mean we're all the same? No. The answer is no, we're not all the same because we have different biology, right? A man who has high testosterone is going to be more assertive. He's going to be more into providing and protecting and more about, providing for a family or, something like that. He's going to show up differently in life. A woman who has more estrogen is going to show up more, nurturing. She's going to be better with children in general. She's going to have certain traits based on her biology. And not only biology, also the way your soul wants to express itself, right? So take this as an example, like a man who's highly masculine and he's fixing cars, he expresses his need for beauty, fixing cars, making them look beautiful, or maybe even dressing up and wearing a nice suit, or fixing up a house, or doing certain things, right? That's his way, and pleasure, maybe like drinking a nice glass of whiskey or smoking a cigar, like they embody the energies differently, but they have a different essence between a woman and a man. So I went a little deeper than I expected to go. I was just going to talk about the complementary opposites, but I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.